With going out bush, like it's a big place, like you can get lost quite easy. So eventually you'll come across something and you mark it down on your map and take photos, and you want to get out there and find more because it's always full of stuff. There's always new stuff to find. Like we're still finding stuff now, that have been lost for decades. And it's good to find them and mark them and show other people the enjoyment that we get, finding stuff. Hey, I'm Quentin Turner, and I, along with Robert Orr, helped clear this trail in 2019 after the bushfires, which heavily impacted this area.
I'm Robert Orr. Quentin and I are real train buffs. We're very interested in railways, and particularly the history of the railways in Tasmania. We're not only interested in the history of this area, but also providing access for people for recreation. Plus, the two of us, we just love being out here.
And we thought it was a good opportunity to get in and clear what was remaining of the trail, of the railway line that was once here. Yeah, so it took us around 4 years to get where we are now, 4 or 5 years. Every month we'd hold a working bee, and we would come out here and clear what we can with chainsaws and hands and that, just to make a clear path for bushwalkers and that.
We're at an old sawmill site in the forest southwest of Geeveston. It was quite a large mill. It employed around 50 people. Yeah, so around here there's a few remnants of mainly stone chimneys from where there's been huts. There was also, which I think was probably a blacksmith's shop, and most of the workers actually lived on site. And the sawmill was served by a tramway out of the bush, and this is what we have here. This here is what is called a driven bogie. It was sat behind the main engine of the tramway.
I've always had a passion for railways, and when I moved down here in 2014, I was told that there was a railway down here, and I always had a fascination with finding bits and pieces of what remains. I thought, why not go exploring? So finally met up with Robert Orr, and we got together and we started exploring the bush and finding what remains, and it was quite beautiful and sad at the same time. Like, you have all these emotions, like what was here but isn't here now. And that's what brings us joy, like trying to bring it back to life in another way now, so that history lives on forever and that people can enjoy it.
I actually knew where most of the lines were from working here with the Forestry Commission and Forestry Tasmania. So I knew where most of the lines were. Quentin had stumbled across some of them, and I showed him where others were, and worked on the ones that we know will be accessible to the public.
Most of the railway lines in the Huon Valley, like there was heaps of them, like none of them exist now apart from the Idle Bay Railway. So, trying to retrace where that line ran is overgrown. You got trees overgrown, bushes, so trying to get through the bush to where you want to be is like hard, but at the same time rewarding, because when you find stuff like this here, it makes it all worth it. I bring my son up and show him, and he just loves it, and it brings joy to them to see this kind of stuff, like, because not many people know this exists. To see it here now and look at it, it's just so rewarding. Really
good to come across something that we didn't know was here. But when we found this driven bogie, that was just an amazing thing.
The beauty of where the railway line ran, is beautiful now. Back then it was a bit different, like, would have been logging going on, but now it's, beautiful. We've got ferns, you've got big trees, eucalyptus trees, and it's just a beautiful walk. Huon Valley was built on railways and tramways to cart the goods out of the forest to the timber mills. Most of that's lost now, so we're trying to keep that history alive so that people can enjoy it, and also the people that worked in these areas, that they're not forgotten, and the history is always there to be discovered.
So hopefully the people who come out here will share with us the beauty of the area, but with this these formations out here, you should be able to come back in a few hundred years' time and they'll still be there. That's the beauty of them.
That's right.